What is going on? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, we're going to talk about the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and the things that I think reviewers and folks alike will complain about when they get the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Even if they don't even get the Galaxy Z Fold 7, these are going to be things that people just complain about. And I think overall, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is going to be a raving success. I think it's going to be the biggest improvement in years to this line. It's the most fun and improved version of this device of all time, and it's going to be awesome. I have no doubts about it, but I still think, as you know, as humans, we like to complain and compare and contrast and not like things that are generally not that big a deal, and then we make a big hoo-ha about it, and these are going to be some things I think people will talk about. So the first one being the battery size. The battery's not being increased at all. It's 4,400 milliamp battery, and battery is definitely one of the weakest things about my Galaxy Z Fold 6. I have to charge it multiple times a day. Even if I'm at like 50, 60% and I'm gonna be out for a couple hours, I'll be honest, I'm very worried. And I charge it in my car as I'm driving along, or I bring a battery pack with me. I get worried. So I think we're gonna have a lot of that same issue with this phone as well. I do think the 8 Elite will probably give us a little bit more time with our phones because it'll be able to sip on that battery rather than chug it down like the Galaxy Z Fold 6 and One UI 7 seem to be doing lately. But other than that, I think people are gonna say, hey, the battery life's just not that great. I would guess that's gonna be one of the complaints. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong about all of these things, but I think this would probably be one of the bigger complaints from people, and most valid points, I should say, at that. The next one is, as you know, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is the thinnest Galaxy Z Fold they've ever released. It's incredibly thin. It's about 50% thinner when it's closed and open versus the Galaxy Z Fold 6. And I think what people are gonna complain about is going back to that battery. They're gonna be like, man, it's so thin. They could have just put a bigger battery in and kept it the same thickness as the Galaxy Z Fold 6, and I would have been happier. I don't need a thin phone. People just don't seem to be, at least people that haven't tried it, don't seem to be impressed with thin devices. I have a Galaxy S25 Edge, and I gotta admit, I love this thing. If I was using a traditional phone like this all the time, I would definitely probably switch to this phone. I love this thing. It's so comfortable and easy to hold. The camera is great, and those are two very important things to me. And I already charge a lot anyway, so I'm not even worried to just charge that baby up. That's really cool. So that doesn't bother me, but I know people are gonna complain about, not that they hate that it's thin, because I don't think that's gonna be a complaint. It's gonna be the complaint that, why did you make it thin and not just keep it the way it was and put a bigger battery in, which entail is going to also make the camera bump bigger, which is our number 3. That would be having the phone be so thin, people are going to complain like, hey, but the camera bump is so big and the battery is still the same size. You could have just kept things the way they are and it would have felt a little bit same, but at the same time, would we be happy at that point? And the phone would probably be heavier too because the screens got larger. So that would be the other part of that. And as you know, people in tech like things to get skinnier, smaller. Think about the original iPhone. That thing was tiny. It was really tiny, but it was pretty thick. And as things got bigger on the displays and batteries life got better and technologies got better, things like that happen. So having things smaller and thinner and lighter, and think about the original computers and how small they are now, there's so much, to do with that. And having things get smaller is just a natural tech thing. And small, again, that 4,400 milliamp battery, the thinness and complaining the battery didn't get bigger, and also the thinness complaining that the camera bump is bigger or feels bigger. On camera main display, so they got rid of the under display camera on the main display, and the camera will sit on top of the main display on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. And the camera's reportedly staying the same on that in terms of quality, 4 megapixels. I think it's somewhat of a valid response. Part of me, like others, is gonna be like, oh man, the under display camera does not take good photos. Why did you put the camera underneath? But it looks great. That's the great thing about it. And then the other part's gonna be like, okay, now great, the camera's on top of the display, but the photos look, and maybe they'll look great, but I assume they won't, are gonna look basically the same, if not a little bit better now, but it's just basically the same type of camera, 4 megapixel. So it's like, why'd you even do that? Maybe they had to do it because of the, I did a video on this, because of a lawsuit that they're going through reportedly, or maybe they're doing it because they want to eventually make that camera much upgraded on next year's phone, and they wanted to keep it the same on this year's phone, but give us a little bit better quality. I don't know, but I think it's going to be one of the pain points of people saying it's ugly looking, even though it's on basically all the other folding phones, and it was kind of original to the Z Fold line. And I think the other part of it is they're going to complain about the quality. So I think those two things mixed together are going to create a complaint for the Galaxy Z Fold 7. All cameras except main camera are not upgraded. It takes decent photos, and obviously the camera that you're gonna use the most is the main camera, and that's been massively improved from 50 megapixels to 200 megapixels, so you'll be able to crop in and potentially get better quality photos, and they've upgraded the software and algorithms behind that to get even better photos with that camera, and it should compete, if not beat, the S25 Ultra cameras, which is their best cameras to date. And when you don't upgrade the other cameras, you're not upgrading the ultra wide or the telephoto or any of the other cameras, people are going to complain. They're going to be, hey, this is the same thing. I think this would be more of a complaint from reviewers rather than just normal people that are using the phone on a day-to-day basis. I think people that use it on a main day-to-day basis are going to be happy that the main camera has been upgraded, but the other ones haven't. I think they're going to be really pointed out by reviewers on there. Charging speeds aren't very fast. They're still, the charging speeds are basically going to be the same. 25 watt wired. Potentially, we're not fully sure on this, but I've seen 15 watt wireless, and it could be 25 watt wireless. Since they took the magnets out, you'd have to get a case with a magnet in order to put it on a Qi 2 charger. So it just depends, but ultimately charging speeds basically are about the same. I think that'll be another thing that people complain about and are unhappy with, even though the battery's small enough to, at 25 watts, charge pretty fast, charges in about an hour or so, but it will be something people complain about. Price. Now, price rumored basically at this point in time I'm making this video is rumored to be about the same, but there's always that chance it might not be the same. It might be higher. And I think either way, it'll be a faint complaint if it stays the same. It might even be a positive. People are like, hey, it changed so much, but the price changed stayed the same. That's amazing. But at the same time, maybe they're going to push it to $19.99 and be like, hey, we improved the phone so much, we increased the price as well. So I think either way, I think people will be like, hey, it's just a really expensive phone in general if the price stays the same or changes a little bit. But I think, just on the surface of looking at things that potentially people won't be happy with or would want to complain about, those would be it. You could throw in RAM being one of them, even though most people don't even probably know how much RAM is in it. I know people watch my videos know 12 gigabytes, but I think, the people that do know are gonna be like, hey, why didn't you throw in 16 gigs of RAM for the longevity of this device? But I think most people won't complain about that, but you could throw that in the mix. Otherwise, I think everything else is gonna be a massive improvement or the same, and they'll be happy with it. Let me know your thoughts on this. What would you be upset with about the Galaxy Z Fold 7? Let us know in the comments down below. And you can even, just to throw in one more, you could throw in the size, like it's thicker now, it's wider, it's harder to hold even though it's thinner. You could think of a million things, but let me know. Have a great day, we'll see you down the road. Peace.